Very good morning. In the previous video, we discussed about the uh, basics of water tube and fire tube boilers. We also discussed on what basis the boilers are categorized as water tube and fire tube boiler and what is their meaning. So, we are going to have a very quick look over the water and fire tube boilers. Now that we discussed that if flue gases are present inside the tubes and water is present, this is water. To highlight with a different color, this is water. Water is present outside the tubes. If such a condition exists in any of the pressure vessel, then such pressure vessel is called as the fire tube boiler. Fire tube means fire is present inside the tubes, while water tube means water is present inside the tubes. Now, since these two concepts, we have the meaning of the water tube and fire tube boiler has been elaborated, keeping in view the basic things. Now, we are going to elaborate about something about the tubes. The tube is made up of a alloy steel, and generally the question arises that which type of alloy steel we are going to take. Now, generally we use the super alloys for this purpose. Super alloys. Now, again the question arises why the super alloys are used, because it depends on our application. Now, our application requires a high temperature. Temperature is high temperature. We want some material that is able to sustain very high temperatures, and water is also flowing inside these tubes. Now, when such conditions are required, they are fulfilled by the use of super alloys. These conditions can be fulfilled aptly by the use of super alloys, and super alloys, they are generally either nickel based super alloys, titanium based, or chromium based. Generally, when requirements are very high strength, then nickel based super alloys are used, nickel ones. While in the case of while chromium is important because it also prevents the corrosion. It increases the resistance of the steel tubes, alloy steel tubes. It increases the corrosion resistance of the tubes. Now, these are three types of super alloys, and accordingly they are used by different manufacturers. Now, after that, we move to the basic construction of a water tube boiler. We are going to study the Babcock and Wilcox boiler. It is a water tube type of boiler. Now, first of all we are going to describe its construction. This is a drum, and this drum is used as a container where water is filled up. Water is entered inside the drum with the help of by means of this opening, which is called as the feed valve. Feed valve is used to enter the it is used to provide entry to the feed water inside the drum. And when water now, which one thing is quite logical, that when we are filling up water inside this drum, now this water level indicator, that is WLI, water level indicator, it is going to show us that what is the level of water inside this drum, because this maintaining the particular level is very important. Our water level should not be too high and it should also not be too low. WLI stands for water level indicator. Water level indicator. Now, when water has been filled up, and now what is there? This is the downcomer. Down header. This DTH is the down header, and this is the downcomer. Now we are going to also come to this terminology. This is also the terminology. We can see WLI is the water level indicator, and downtake header DTH is the downtake header. Now what is the meaning of this downtake header? That water comes downwards from this header. Water comes in a downward position, and now we can also say this is UTH. This is the uptake header. You can say what is UTH. What is the meaning of UTH actually? It is the uptake header. Now similar to the downtake header, its function, what would be the function of the uptake header? It is going to give, it is going to provide the heated water and steam. Heated water and steam, I can write water plus steam, both the things, water and steam, or simply the steam also you can write. Now, why? Because water and steam, this would be I would be explaining it after some time, that why water and steam, or what we should write, water and steam or only steam. So it would be better to write that UTH is the uptake header, and it is going to provide, it is going to do what? It is going to provide a way to the steam to move upwards into the drum. So from these two situations we have come to know that the function of the downtake header DTH is to bring water, or most probably it is the saturated water. Why? Because it is a feed water and it was already saturated before its entry into the drum. Saturated water is coming downwards in the through the DTH downtake headers, and these are the tubes. And it flows inside the tube. Why there is a requirement of a flow, and why the flow takes place, and how the flow takes place, we would be discussing it also. And these are the uptake headers, and the function of this uptake header is to provide the steam. It provides a way to the steam, and steam gets collected at the top of the drum. Why at the top of the drum? Because steam is lighter in nature. It has got less density, and water has got higher density compared to steam. That is why steam is always up and water is downwards. Now we would come back to our question, why there is a flow of water, what is the requirement of the flow. But before that, we also have to know one particular situation. See, these tubes have been tilted, they are not straight, and the angle of tilt is near about 10 to 15 degrees. Now why the angle of tilt is there? For that purpose, the angle of tilt is there in order to ensure a particular type of circulation. The water circulation would the water circulation, for the purpose of a good water circulation, the angle of tilt is 10 to 15 degrees. If these tubes are not tilted, and if they are made straight like this, parallel to the x-axis, then there would be no water circulation. So in order to ensure water circulation, the tilting is necessary, and in order to ensure a good water circulation, tilting between 10 to 15 degrees is necessary. So these are the things that we have to keep in mind. Now we would be discussing some the water circulation in detail, and let us start it. Now that we have seen that the tubes were inclined like this. Towards the right hand side we have the DTH downtake headers, and towards the left hand side we have the uptake headers, and these are the tubes. Now what is there inside the tube? Now we also have seen, this is a grate. This is the grate area, GRATE. Please note the spelling of the grate. So what is the grate area? Here the coal pieces are kept, and the combustion takes place. The combustion takes place, and the heat of the combustion is released in the form of the flue gases. Flue gases are produced in this area. Flue gases production is there. Now in our diagram, where are the flue gases produced? We come back to the diagram like this, and the flue gases are produced here. This is the grate area, and this is denoted by G, and combustion takes place in this area, and flue gases are produced. These are the flue gases. Now time is almost over. We would be discussing the natural circulation in